Shalom, shalom. Thank you for coming back to Chase Conversations. This is going to be a quick chaser tonight, short, sweet, and to the point. Just wanted to talk a little bit about asking and ye shall receive. Um, Matthew 7:7 says, ask and it shall be given you, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. Verse 8 says, for everyone that asketh receive it, and he that seeketh find it, and to him that knocketh it shall be open. So we see right there that, and this is in red letters too. This is in red letters. So Christ is speaking. Ask and it shall be given you. He's saying to ask. So I wanted to talk about this because a lot of us, we have self-conscious reason, or maybe we were brought up in a household that taught us, whether on mother or father side or both, to be independent of anyone, never to ask for anything, do it on your own. And maybe for some of us, we were told that asking for something shows that you're not able, or it shows weakness, or it shows vulnerability. For some of us, when we don't ask for things, a lot of that is just pride in the way. We're scared to let people know that we need something, okay, to lean on someone. And again, if that's the way you were raised, okay, fine, because we were all raised a certain type of way. But when you come into the knowledge of this truth and come closer to the Father, and the truth meaning these laws, statutes, and commandments, we are not to move forward in the way of our worldly thinking, in our own understanding. Okay, we are to do thus saith the Most High, okay, and follow and be Christ-like. And so we have to do away with the way we were raised, because we can't keep moving forward talking about how we were raised. So we're not becoming new creatures, okay, if we're still stuck in how we were raised. Do you have something, Sister Yushraya?
When you talk about us saying like how we were raised, it just brought to mind the scripture about yoke of bondage. So I'm just going to read real quick, Galatians 5:1. And it says, stand fast, therefore, in the liberty where Christ has made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. And I know that could mean something entirely different, but in my spirit, when we talk about yoke of bondage, we're breaking something, right? We're not going back to slavery or our old ways. So that just came to mind when you were talking about how sometimes we'll be wanting to hold on to those things because of the pure fact that we were raised that way. So I just wanted to bring that out.
All praises. That was Galatians 5:1, Khan. And I'm glad you brought that out, because like we've been speaking about fear throughout most of our discussions, and a lot of time fear drives us, and fear is driving us to resist in moving forward in things that we should be doing, moving forward and maybe gathering with like-minded. Fear drives you to and fear and pride will drive you to not, what does it say? Ask, to open your mouth and say. And the worldly say, there's a worldly saying, but the worldly saying comes from this, would line up with this book. What does it say? Closed mouths do not get fed. Okay. You'll see, and so to tie it back to the scripture you just brought out, stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ had made us free from, oh, I was raised this way. Oh, I have too much pride. I can't get, I can't let anybody know that I'm vulnerable or in this way, or I don't want to be vulnerable. I, made you free now from that bondage and not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Okay, because fear will keep you bondage. Fear is like a chain on your ankle. You're not gonna go out there and say, hey, um I I only had enough this week to pay my rent. I didn't have enough to put bread on the table. Brother or sister, uh, family of the church, do you mind? Can you lend a hand? Can you lend a hand? Okay. The yoke of bondage will keep you from doing so. Thus, in turn, now having your family go without, having you go without. Okay. Um, so I also wanted to bring out just a precept. Matthew 7:7 was Matthew 21 and verse 22 is saying it here again. And all things whatsoever let's start from 21. Jesus answered and said unto them, verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. Verse 22, and all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. So coming to the Father, yes, he already knows what we need, but he wants us to come to him and say, hey, I am lacking here. Hey, I need you to come through for me on this. So I'm praying for, praying to give me strength here, praying to make me a better wife here, a better mother there, a better sister, a better church member, right? Give me the fruits of the spirit, please, because I'm lacking in patience and understanding. I'm lacking in charity. I'm lacking in all these things. He knows we need that, but he needs us to come to him. Okay. And there's something to be said for that, because again, we have pride if we cannot go to the Father and say, hey, I need these things. Khan, since you had Mark 11:24. Let's read that. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that you receive them and ye shall have them. Han. So we're again going to the Most High with these things, but we are here in the world, okay? So the Most High is going to answer your prayers. Most High willing, he will answer your prayers. Again, if you are not in sin and willfully, but he's going to answer your prayers. But he's going to use a brother or sister to follow through. He uses his children to do his work. Okay, we're his vessels. Okay, so if you're letting pride if you're gonna go to the Most High in your prayer closet with that, but you're not gonna go to the church and let the church know, listen, I don't have anywhere to stay. How is the Most High gonna move? You already went to him, but how is he gonna move if the family doesn't know? Because you didn't know that he had lined up for your pastor. They've been saving up all month long, for several months actually, to help somebody in need. Okay, they say we're gonna put this aside, all these funds. You wouldn't reap those benefits, okay, because you let pride, fear, how I was raised, I don't want to ask anybody anything. Okay, so how's the Most High gonna have him move on your behalf? Okay, a lot of us think that that we're gonna sit by and somebody's gonna come up to us and just give us what we need. And in some cases, it can happen that way. I see you, sis. It can happen that way, but we want to make sure that we're not inflicting or what is it, inflicting any any hindrance on our part by having fear, which is a sin. Okay, by continuing in how you were raised in the world. Okay, Sister Yusra, you had something?
I did, but now I'm thinking it's in Galatians 5 and 13 and 14. And it was just, I'll read it. It says, "For brethren, you have been called into liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." And I just was bringing that scripture out because when you're saying that, we have to let our pride go, we need to ask when we have a need. When you don't do that, ask your brother and sister, you're kind of depriving them of their ability to serve you as a brother and sister as well. And so that scripture just kind of makes me think about that. Like, we're here to help. How can our work show if you're not sharing with us and telling us what it is you need and giving us an opportunity to either help you or refer you to resources or just be there for you? And that's what the scripture is telling us, but by love, serve one another. So I just want to bring that out.
All praises, sis. Scripture says, if you have need of something, go to your elders, right? So they can pray over you. So that's another. I mean, we're told to do these things. Okay, so anything contrary to that is contrary to what your father is instructing us, is instructing you to do. Okay, go to the elders so they can pray over you, whether you're sick, without, whatever it is. Because we just feel like we have to hide things under the rug again for whatever reason it is, whatever it is. That is the adversary wanting you to keep things. My life is gonna keep things in the dark. Okay. No, the Most High wants us to call things to light. And it doesn't show weakness, it shows strength. If anything, it shows strength because Israel, we are many to make us one. We are many. It's not just you going through it. Many of us are going through things. Yours might be, maybe you're lacking fringes, lacking skirts, or you might be lacking rice to put on your table, or you might be lacking a job or a house, but we're all connected together. We're all connected. We all have a way to help one another. And if I can't do it personally, I know of somebody that could maybe help. Or we're gonna go to the elders together and get the help that we need. That's how we build each other up. So it like, and I'm glad you brought that out, sis, because that's us. If I'm have so much pride and I'm just not gonna ask for anything, I'm gonna wait until obviously they could see that I need it. So it should, if I do that, I'm depriving the family of the Most High working through them to be to do the what's that word, to give alms, right, to do their outreach. Okay, and that's chipping away at the pride and chipping away at the worldliness that we were rolled around for so long. So he's going to put you in certain situations to see if you're going to come out of that shell, out of that pride, out of that fear, out of this how my mama raised me, out of shame and I don't want them to think of me this way or that way. Pride had to be pushed aside when that lady that had the issue all her life, an issue, and we know the issue was uncleanliness. Now, that's some personal stuff you ain't trying to go through just your gynecologist, probably. And half the time, we don't want to go there because we have pride, okay? But she had to push a lot of pride out the way and ask so she could receive that blessing. And to do so, you have to have faith. So if you're not doing these things, you are prideful. If you're not asking your family what you have need of after you pray to the Most High, we are prideful. We do not have faith. Okay. And we're not being family like. Okay.
When you were talking about providing for your household, that's something I actually had written here in 1 Timothy 5 and 8, which says, "But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he had denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." And it just made me think that when we're talking about house, I know people take the scriptures kind of different, but in this sense, when we say house, we're the house of Israel, right? So we are one family. And so that's why it stood out to me, because if we have, then if you have a need, you need to ask your family so that your house can be provided for. And so that's why that scripture in this sense stood out for me when you said that.
Han, I mean, the scripture would not be there sev- several times, numerous times within this book that we read, that we say we believe in, and in red letters here and there. It wouldn't say ask and you shall receive. It didn't say sit by and wait. It didn't say sit by and wait. Yeah, that sister over there, she know I don't bring in that much money. She know I need something. You know, she sees me every day. She could see I don't have fringes. So she should be offering to make me fringes. I don't see that anywhere in the book. I do not see that anywhere in the book. The Most High says he knows what you have need of, but he still needs you to ask for it. And then he needs you to follow through with getting rid of the pride now, okay, and the fear, and how my mama raised me once again, and put it out there. Go to the elders, go to your sisters, and say, hey, listen, I I don't know how to do my hair. I don't know how to do my natural hair. I've been wearing wigs and weaves. I came into the truth now. I need to know how to do this thing. Okay. Listen, I got children. I got mouths to feed and it's hard to pay these bills. I'm paying the bills, but I need some help. We go sign up for EBT. We could go to Esau when we need help, but it's like we can't go to our family members when we need something as if it's going to fall out the sky. Okay? Ask and you shall receive. Put pride, put the fear away. The Most High does not give us the spirit of fear. Pride is a sin. How we were raised up by mom, dad, grandma, all of them is in the world, not according to this book, not according to the book. Okay. And so I just wanted to bring that out because it's happening a lot and we cannot bring each other closer. We cannot come closer if if we don't if we're not out there, if we're not able to come to each other, not just on the Sabbath day and shalom, how you doing, and act like nothing ain't happened. You lacking somewhere? How come I don't know this? Why do I not know this? Pray to the Most High first. Pray to Him first because He'll lead you and guide you to the right person. I mean, Christ did it. Christ that night, the night before they crucified Him, He asked the Peter and his disciples, can stay up at night. Stay up at night. I need you to stay up and keep watch. He didn't expect the disciples to know that He was off in the cut praying, okay, and assume that He's gonna need watch all night. No, He went to them and said, I need you to keep watch. I need you to keep watch. All right. Don't wait for it to fall out the sky. The Most High is moving through His people. So when we put it out there, you have to put it out there. I might see that I don't know. I might see you broke down. I mean, why is it that the less fortunate can go out there with the signs on the street and say, hey, I need this. I need whatever it is on this sign. This will help. This would help. But when we feel now that we come into the knowledge of who we are, that we feel like we have to hold on to these unfruitful things like pride, and fear. Why do we feel like we have to hold on to those things when this is exactly what we need to get rid of? Okay. And so again, this is a chaser for sisters only. Whatever we need to do for each other, we are called to do. So if you ask me for something and then I neglect to help you, okay, that's where I drop the ball, not you, not you. So you don't want to live in fear, like, oh, she might say this or she might say no, or um I asked and they were not even able to help. Do not look at it like that, because you did the step in praying to the Father and then going to your elders or going to your sisters, your family in the body. You did the step. Now the Most High could work now. Okay, I'm gonna give you a good example before I wrap this up. Just one good example. Um, and I'm gonna be real, because before I came into the truth, I used to smoke. Okay, not cigarettes. The other thing, the one they say that is good for your body and all this stuff. I used to smoke that. Okay, that had a stronghold in me, and then I came into the truth, and I was still doing it for a little bit. And I used to pray to the Most High, please get this off of me. I want to stop doing this. I want to stop doing this. And he put, I prayed to him now, but I didn't tell anybody else about it, obviously, because I was like ashamed. I was like, no, nobody needs to know this about me. No, nobody needs to know this. Or, I had that, maybe that prideful spirit, like looking like I got it all together, but I didn't. Okay. And one day I was hanging out with the sisters, and if they're watching this, they know exactly who they are. Okay. The Most High put it on me, and that was my test to see if I'm going to keep pride on me or keep the fear on me. He told me that day, tell them, tell them about it. And I was shaking and I was sweating. And every time I get nervous, I start sweating all over the place. So I'm like, okay, okay. So I gathered the sisters that were out there with me, and I said, y'all, I have something to tell you. And they're looking at me like, girl, what? I was so sweating so bad. They were like, girl, they were like, they thought something dire was going on with me. Okay. They huddled together. They were, girl, what's going on? And I'm like, I smoke. I smoke, and I smoke every day, sometimes times a day. And they're like, girl, what? You know? And gave me all, some of them have different advice, but they gave me all this. And as soon as I told that to them, okay, as soon as I told that to somebody, a weight was lifted off of my shoulders. Like, I don't have to carry this burden by myself now. Okay, somebody else is going to hold me accountable. Somebody else knows that I need help somewhere, prayer somewhere. Okay, can give me encouragement on how to stop. And it wasn't long after that when I had just started talking to what would be my future husband, and I told him, I didn't even want him to know. Okay. But I told him because I was so ready to get help. Okay. So yeah, pray to the Father, but somebody needed to know, because otherwise I'm hiding something. Okay. And it wasn't long after that at all. He gave me one scripture. And that's how you could tell that you're ready to move forward. Okay. That's how you could tell that you're ready for change and that you have gotten loose, like you read in Galatians 5 says, the yokes of bondage. And maybe my example was a bit outside of the box, but I asked and I received that freedom that I needed from that yoke of smoke. Okay. All right. So whatever it is, it doesn't matter how small it is, how weird it is, how huge it is, how, the Most High is going to make a way, but we have to come together as a family. Israel is a family, it's one unit, and we all trying to learn this thing and come together. So put a light in that place, in that dark place called pride and fear and how I was raised. And I'm just independent. Okay. Put a light on that, because we have to be dependent on one another. If we're all independent, what we need Christ for? If we're all independent, what's the 1/3, right? And if we all independent, what is the 1/3 for? Okay, what is he grouping us? What are we Israel? How are we Israel if we're trying to be individualites and hiding things from each other? This is a family. So um that's what I had for Ask and You Shall Receive. I hope that you were able to glean something from this chaser tonight, and that it reaches you in some way. I know that you have something that you have need of, and you're afraid to ask. You're afraid to ask. And you don't need to be afraid to ask. Because if it's a no, at least you've gotten that step. You've gotten that step. Now you're free of that. Now, okay, I'll get it somewhere else. Or the Most High will make a way, but at least you took that step. You have to take the step in order for him to work. That you made the effort to do so. So let's do that with each other. Let's do that. All right. Again, that's what I had for Ask and You Shall Receive. Our praises to the Most High. This was a Chase Chaser for tonight. Until next time, Shalom.